Our next speaker, I kind of know him, kind of good, Michael O'Connell.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here on such an important day with such fine company. Thank you all for being here today. Like Nina, I am a comedian. I actually refer to myself as a wheelchair comedian when people ask what it is that I do, because frankly, I've just gotten tired of people snickering when I tell them I'm a stand-up comedian. Yeah, that just keeps getting funnier every time. It does. Yeah, it's been a privilege to be a part of the Comedians with Disabilities Act comedy troupe with Nina. What a great and amazing diverse group that is. We've got Nina, who stutters and has learning disabilities. As she mentioned, we have a blind comic, Eric Me. We have a little person comic named Steve Danner, and me in the wheelchair. So everyone in this group has some kind of disability or another. But I do like to point out to my group mates from time to time, whose picture's on the parking sign? Not trying to brag, just saying it's pretty obvious who the Justin Timberlake of that group is. Yeah. It's not easy being a wheelchair comedian out there. Now the good news is that thanks to the ADA and everything that it has done over the years, I can get into every comedy club I need to get into, thanks to ramps and elevators and other accommodations. The bad news is that doesn't yet apply to the stages in these comedy clubs. Unfortunately, most of them I still have to have people lift me up onto the stage to perform. A lot of times I have to use other comedians to do this. Comedians, by and large, not in the best of shape. You really don't want to put your life in the hands of guys who sleep till 2 in the afternoon, lay on the couch all day eating Captain Crunch and Doritos and watching Judge Judy. It's a little dangerous. But on that line, I want to talk about a guy by the name of Brian Kroll. Brian Kroll is the owner of the Sacramento Comedy Spot. It's the only independent comedy club in Sacramento, where I'm from. I started off there early in my career, got to know Brian. In fact, we debuted the Comedians with Disabilities Act there because of my relationship with Brian. But the Comedy Spot, like other clubs, it still had the stage problems. I still have to be lifted up there. Sometimes Brian would do the lifting himself. He's in okay shape, so it was fairly safe. But after a while, Brian did something he was not required to do. Brian had a ramp installed backstage for me to use. Now, I was the only comedian in Sacramento doing comedy in a wheelchair at that time, so it's not like there was a big demand for that accommodation. He didn't have to spend that money, but he did it anyway. He did it because he felt it was the right thing, and he did it because he believed that comedy, the great love of his life, should be accessible to everyone on and off stage. I still remember that first night using that stage, or that ramp to get up on stage, and thinking, man, I really better not bomb tonight. Because I could just picture Brian standing in the back of the club going, wow, that was money well spent. But thankfully I didn't. And then something happened. Not long after that, another comedian in a wheelchair showed up and started performing there. A little while after that, another one showed up. What do you know? The message to comedy clubs out there is, yes, if you build it, we will come. And be grateful. There are more and more, every day, more and more disabled comics showing up in this country, all over the place, every day. And access to stages for them and other performers is a goal that must be reached. And it will be reached, I have no doubts. In my mind, because the ADA has worked miracles these last 25 years, and I know they're still going to meet new challenges like this head on, with persistence, with hope, and with the help of people like Brian Kroll, who embodied the spirit of what the ADA is about in his belief that everyone equally matters. So we're still working on that, but at least for now, wheelchair comedians know that we have a home at the Sacramento Comedy Spot. And we know that there we have the same right as everyone else to get up and humiliate ourselves in front of a group of drunk strangers. And that, perhaps sadly, is progress. And we'll take it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some Captain Crunch and Doritos waiting back in my hotel room. And Judge Judy's on in like an hour, so I need to go, but thank you very much. Happy birthday, ADA.